Hello, this is the Z Standing Ready channel. I am a licensed mental health counselor, licensed hypnotherapist, and psychotherapist. Today, we will look at the foundation that governs human growth and development. Erik Erikson was born in 1902 and died in 1994, was a distinguished developmental psychologist and psychoanalyst celebrated for introducing the theory of psychosocial development. Born in Germany and educated in the art of psychoanalysis, Erikson's work extended Freud's theories, proposing an 8-stage model of human development from infancy to adulthood, each characterized by a specific psychosocial crisis. I'll talk more about psychosocial in a moment. As mentioned before, the term psychosocial refers to the interrelation of social factors on one hand and individual thought and behavior on the other. A psychosocial crisis refers to the turning point, critical period or milestone in an individual's life when an essential shift in self-identity, relationships, and social functioning must occur, often in responses changes in a person's environment or internal development. The theory encompasses how societal influences, such as relationship, cultural norms, and environmental stressors, interact with an individual's psychological processes, including emotions, behaviors, and cognitive functions. It determines how we respond to the world. Erikson proposed that a person's personality development is a process that extends from birth till death, divided into 8 distinct stages of development one must master before moving on to the next stage of development. Each stage involves an internal conflict that must be resolved. So, if you fail to pass one stage positively, it is difficult or impossible to proceed to the next stage of development, and you become stuck at the level you failed to pass. This can lead to feelings of low self-esteem and a sense of inadequacy. Ultimately, this could lead to a sense of stagnation and a feeling of being stuck in life. I will examine each of the 8 stages of development, their associated conflicts, and their implications for personal growth. The first stage of the 8 stages of growth is trust versus mistrust. It starts in infancy. It is centered around whether or not the parents are meeting the infant's basic needs. A sense of trust is developed in the infant if the parents provide reliability, care, and affection. The infant will then feel safe and secure in the world. Conversely, if these needs are not consistently met, mistrust begins to develop. This stage lays the foundation for future social relationships and the individual's feelings of safety in the world. For example, when a baby turns around 1 year old, they must learn to walk. It's hard going at first, with many failures and falls. It would be much easier for the baby if it just continued to crawl. Instead, the baby works through the frustration, takes its first few steps, and grows as an individual in the process. It is a challenge he must go through and pass in order to master the next stage. The rest of life is similar to this challenge. We must work through the difficult parts if we are to grow. The second stage of growth pits autonomy versus shame and doubt. As toddlers, aged 2 to 3 years old, begin to assert their independence, a sense of autonomy must prevail and overcome feelings of shame and doubt. This stage is characterized by the growing desire of children to do things by themselves, independent of others. After all, they can move around and walk around freely now. Successful resolution leads to feelings of independence, while failure results in feelings of shame and doubt. Encouragement and patience from parents allow children to develop a sense of self-sufficiency. During preschool or at the playground, children assert power and control over their world through play and other social interactions. The challenge here is to balance the desire to initiate activities with the guilt that could come from unintended consequences of their actions. Positive experiences in the stage lead to a sense of initiative, while negative responses can result in feelings of guilt. At this stage, children must feel responsible for their actions. Stage 4's challenge is industry versus inferiority. This stage coincides with the early schooling years. Children begin to develop a sense of pride in their accomplishments. They initiate projects, see them through to completion, and feel industrious. However, a sense of inferiority may develop if this initiative is not encouraged or if the child meets too many failures with too little support. Stage 5's conflict is the challenge between identity versus role confusion. Adolescence is marked by the search for personal identity. This search for individual identity is something that is frequently discussed in the news nowadays, as it relates to the choices these children make as adolescents. The teenager works at refining a sense of self by testing roles and then integrating them to form a single identity, or they become confused about who they are. This stage plays a crucial role in developing a sense of personal identity, which will influence deportment and development for the rest of a person's life. Completion of this stage cannot be emphasized enough. Positive role models, not peers, encourage the direction the child will choose. Successful completion of this stage settles personal confusion, for example, the formation of gender identity, along with other traits that define one's sense of self. In the past 15 to 20 years, the emphasis on this step has been ignored in the education system, resulting in widespread self-identity confusion in adolescent children. Stage 6 begins the conflict between intimacy versus isolation. In young adulthood, individuals face the task of forming intimate relationships with others. Erikson described this stage as finding oneself yet losing oneself in another person. Failure to establish these connections can lead to isolation and depression. Humans are, after all, social creatures. Stage 7's challenge is between generativity versus stagnation. During middle adulthood, individuals focus on supporting future generations by raising children through their careers and creative outputs. Success leads to feelings of usefulness and accomplishment, while failure results in a shallow involvement in the world. And then finally, stage 8. In the final stage, individuals look back and reflect on their lives. They may feel a sense of fulfillment and integrity if they believe their lives have been successful, or, on the other hand, despair if they look back on a life of failures. Erikson's theory highlights the importance of social relationships and challenges faced at different stages of life in shaping personality. Erikson's theory has significantly impacted our understanding of developmental psychology, offering a framework for exploring identity and development across a person's lifespan. His work underscores the complexity of human development and the intricate interplay between individual growth and societal expectation. After all, life is a test, and this is what will define us.